Hey there, Fallout lovers. This is Scott, aka The Intruder, bringing you another Fallout 4 video. This time it's a tutorial video. Um, I decided that I have an enormous amount of fun making my new Fallout 4 battle videos. And so what I decided to do was I'm just going to do a tutorial video on how I do it. So this is going to involve, a few things, and these things that they're going to include, how to use the console on PC. Now here's a disclaimer. Unfortunately, you won't be able to do it on PlayStation 4, Xbox, because you don't have access to the console commands, unfortunately. So I'm sorry about that. If I could teach you how to do that, I totally would. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. But for those of you who do play Fallout 4 on the PC and like making videos, or want to get into making videos, I'm going to show you how I do it. And so there's quite a few things involved, and it's not just hey, I'm just going to put a bunch of people here and fight them, And so I'm also going to talk about some of the issues that I've had doing it, and some of the things that have held me back in doing certain ones. And some of the solutions that I found to some of these problems. So, first thing off, I want to teach you, and this is for those of you who don't know how to use the console. I'm going to teach you how to use it. So, on the up in the upper left hand corner of your keyboard, directly below the escape key, is the little tilde key, or the little squiggly line, or whatever you want to call it. But when you push that, you've got you get this little screen right here. This little screen pops up, and that's your console. One of the first things that you're going to want to do is learn how to use God mode. And the only reason I tell you that is because it has nothing to do with anything, but it'll save you grief. Just in case one of the creatures that you spawn decides to discover your hiding spot. And tries to attack you and then kills you right in the middle of your battle, and then you have to start the battle all over again, and it just saves a little bit of time. So the God mode is TGM. So you just type in TGM, hit enter, God mode enabled. One of the things that I've found useful in playing Fallout 4 and using the console is using batch files. And now batch files are just a text file, and all they do with the text file is it allows you to put multiple commands in the batch file, and just type in the batch file name, and what it does is it runs all those commands, so you don't have to type those in over and over and over again. Really quickly, one thing that's useful is using your up arrow key, and that'll put up the last command. So if you put in a bunch of commands, you can just scroll through the up key, find one of your last commands if you're like me and too lazy to type. So, alright, so the next thing that I want to show you is how to use batch files and where to put them. So you want to put them in your Fallout 4 folder, okay? And Fallout 4 folders are mostly going to be the same. They're going to be in your Steam folder, under Common, under Fallout 4. They're just going to be in the Fallout 4 folder. Now if you look right here, this is where I do my screenshots and stuff. I'll show you about the screenshots here in just a minute. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But as you can see, I've got some of the screenshots, So here's a few screenshots of a video that I was I'm working on, or some videos that I've worked on that didn't necessarily make the cut. Obviously you can see Liberty Prime. He's throwing his he's throwing his little mini nukes at me, That's why you want to use God mode, is because sometimes the creatures find you and they start to attack you. So, and that will happen, it will happen, trust me. So there's all sorts of stuff. If there's questions that you guys have, go ahead and, write them in the comments below, and I will get back to them as soon as I possibly can. I try to check my comments, a few times a day, and I always answer my comments. I'm not by any means a big YouTuber. I only have a few hundred subscribers, and I get maybe I get hundreds of views a day, not like some people getting thousands or hundreds, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. So I'm just a little teeny guy, and I'm just doing this for the community because I find it fun, and I imagine that a lot of you will be. So here's just some of my screenshots from some of the battles that I've thought about doing, or some of the battles that I've worked on and stuff. So screenshots are going to be helpful for making your thumbnails. Really helpful. That's what I use. As you can see, there's a few Brotherhood of Steel guys in the middle, and a whole bunch of Deathclaws on this one. So this one was pretty fun. This is actually one I'll be uploading tonight and releasing tomorrow. That was a pretty fun one to make. But they're really fun. I really enjoy them, and I think you guys will. So if you look in my Fallout 4 folders, there's a ton of text files. You can see a whole bunch here. Naming conventions, I'm not really going to get into all that stuff. You can name it whatever you want. Like for instance, if I wanted my character to be Superman, I just pull up this one right here. And this sets God mode on, sets my jump scale to like really high. Gives me a fat man. And it also sets everything to all my stats to 10. So you got a bunch of different commands, and I'm going to leave a link to a couple of. I'm going to leave a link to my website to give you a little bit of a rundown on console commands. I'm not going to get too far into how to use them and stuff, but I'll leave a link in the description to a site that will give you a bunch of information on that. And of course, like I said, if you have any questions, you can just leave it in the comment below, and I'll get back to it as soon as possible. So you just write your commands in here. This is just a fun one I was messing with when I was getting to know the batch files and the console commands in Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is really similar to Skyrim, which is really similar to Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. So they're pretty easy to use, pretty straightforward. Some of the syntax may take some getting used to, but it's pretty straightforward. So as you can see, I've got a bunch of them. The one that I use all the time is Battle, and what this does is this toggles on the artificial intelligence and the combat artificial intelligence. So first thing you want to do is you want to toggle the AI and the combat AI off. And what that does is that keeps your character keeps the things that you spawn from attacking each other, and it keeps them from attacking you. So I'm going to go in here in the game and show you that in just a second. First, I want to show you this one. These two little things right here, they're pretty good little things. They help open up performance on your computer for Fallout 4. I would suggest using them. I see a noticeable difference in the performance of the game, especially when it comes to battles. And so use those up there. Leave a little link to the description on more on what they do. So I'm going to go back into my game here. Now I use a windowed game. I don't use full screen. I use a windowed game so that I can bounce back and forth between here and the game without having to worry about my game crashing. So it does use a little bit more as far as performance-wise, but it lets me be able to do this stuff a lot easier without having to worry about loading the game again and all that stuff. Now, here's an important caveat for doing battles in Fallout 4. One thing that you need to do is make sure you back up all your save files. Okay, and also I would back up just as many files as you don't want to lose. Because doing stuff like this, you can corrupt your save files. You can corrupt other things. So back them up just to hold on to them. Because you never know when you're going to accidentally screw something up. And I'm not saying that you will, but shit happens. So anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in, as you can see, the bat file for battle is battle.txt. Okay, and then the batch file for the CPU stuff to improve performance. And this is just stuff that I named it. You can name it whatever you want. So what I'm going to do is, I'll just close out of this. So first off, I'm going to I'm going to type in BAT. So always put BAT in first. That's just telling it it's going to a BAT file or a text file named whatever it is you put in here. So I'm going to type in CPU. So BAT space CPU. And that's going to give me my batch file. And that's going to turn on multi-threaded deferred lighting and multi-threaded blended decal pre-process rendering. I don't know. I'm not necessarily sure on the technical details on that. But what it basically does is it lets your computer go to multi-threading on that. Instead of just using one core for this stuff, it uses all available threads on the computer. So, like for instance, I have a dual core i3 with 4 threads. So now it's using 4 threads, and that's why I'm getting a considerable difference. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in BAT battle. Oops, I almost forgot the batch file. And if you don't type in BAT beforehand, it's not going to hurt anything, but you will have to go back and do it again. So I'm going to type that in, and boom, see how it toggles all AI processing off and all combat processing off. So that turns that off. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about things that we spawn coming up. Okay, the next console command that I'm going to teach you, and this is something that you don't necessarily need to make a batch file for because, well, this is really easy to type in, but type in help and then put a space. And let's say, for instance, I want to find out, what all the Raiders NPCs in the game look like. So I'm going to type in Raider, and then I'm going to hit space, and then I'm just going to hit 0 because you got to put an integer value here, which is a number value from 0 to I think it's 4 or 5. And don't worry about putting anything else. Just put a 0. Don't put an O. It's a 0. So I'm going to hit enter. It's going to take a second to process because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of Raiders. So then I can just hit my page up button and I can just scroll up through it. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm just, oops, wrong one. My page up, boom, I'm going up through. And there's a whole bunch of Raiders in here. Now the value that I want you to pay particularly close attention to is the far left one. See how up here it says LCRT. Now this is I believe this is scripting commands for the program. So this is a part of the scripting of the actual scripted events that they've gone through and made the characters or the NPCs in the game do certain actions. Okay, you don't want to worry about that. The only things that you really want to worry about are when it says NPC. When it says NPC, that means non-player character. That's any character in the game that's not you. Okay? And so, as you can see, there's a lot of Raiders. I mean, obviously. I just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So if I come up here and I look, oh, okay, look at that. I can summon a whole bunch of Raider Psychos, or Raider Wasters, or whatever, Legendary Raiders, That's pretty cool to have because they're a lot tougher. So let's say I want this Legendary Raider right here, and then I want to put him in a batch file so I can just summon him like that. I don't have to remember that number. I don't have to do anything. What I do is, really quickly, I got to turn on my, to get back out of there, you just hit the tilde key again, or the squiggly line key. I got to turn my, one thing that's going to be very helpful to you as well is my HUD opacity, or your HUD opacity. You use this to turn it off and turn it on. Now there's console commands that'll let you do that, but it also takes the console away. And you want the console to be able to show. You want to be able to see it. So you'll be turning the opacity down and up. Just remember that, and that's something that will be quite helpful. So I'm just turning it back on because I would like it back on for this. So if I just want to do this, what I want to do is the thing that makes it easiest for me, I don't know, maybe you want to write it down, take a picture of your thing. I just print screen. I just hit the print screen button, back out of this, and it tells me the screenshot's been sent to my Fallout 4 folder. So I just go back over to my Fallout 4 folder, and here's my screenshot. So now I got that number right there. So now what I can do is I can go up here and make a new text document, and I'll just name it Raider. I'll just name it Raider 1. And so in the Raider 1 file, I want to put a few things in there. So the command that I really want to remember all the time is player.placeAtMe. Okay? And so what that's going to do is that's telling the game that, okay, you want to spawn this thing right here. Okay? And so for our Raider, our value is 1. Don't worry about the zeros all the way over to the left unless there's a letter or number in front of it that's not 0. You don't even have to worry about that. So all I want for that top legendary Raider is 184752. Excuse me. Okay, so that tells me right here, placeAtMe, this right here, which is that Raider right there, that legendary Raider. And then I want to tell it how many. Well, you know what? Why don't you spawn, let's say 20 of them. Okay? I want to save that file. Then I can close it. Doesn't matter if you don't, but, you can close it. Another thing I have is like current 1, current 2, current 3, current 4. I can go in here and change whatever I want in here, and that way I remember every time, oh yeah, current 1 is the first person I want battling, or the first group I want battling. Current 2, like I said, you could name it whatever you want. I just do that to help me remember it. Like for here, instance DC, that's a Deathclaw. If I want a Fat Man, I've just got to type in Fat Man. If I want all the crafting stuff, right here I can just type in craft all, and it'll give me every single crafting thing and 10,000 of it. If I want to make a video about crafting, I can just use this. And if I want to be God, well, then I just use this. I can set my level at 50, my strength and everything, all my skills at 999. My action points to 1 billion. My health, way up high. And you're never going to kill me. There's no character in the game that's ever going to kill me. So I can just run around and I can, set my jump height to really high and just run around and kill things. It's just, something fun to do. I don't really do that. If I just want to jump, if I just want to jump real high, I use this one. Set GS F jump height min to 500, and I can jump higher than normal. Anyways, so back to the game. You want to close out of some of these things because they can hamper performance. As far as recording software, there's a lot of good recording software. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, you're going to have the GeForce Experience, and that has a Shadow Play, which is a beta. But if you look up in the upper right hand corner, you can see my frames per second right now. Right now I'm at 43 frames per second. I don't have the best video cards, but that's about average what I get. Most of the time I'm getting more than that, but sometimes I dip down to 35 or so, depending upon where I'm even looking. So, looking directly up at the sky, directly down to the ground gives me a lot more frames per second. But when I look out here, another thing that I do is on the settings, on the display settings, I turn the item, object, and grass fade down for these videos because I'm not too worried about what's going on in the environment. I'm just worried about what's the battle that's happening. So, that is there. And if I go off on a tangent, sorry, please forgive me. There's lots of stuff to cover in this. So, I have that up because that's helpful. I try to stay away from it when I'm actually filming the video. And with NVIDIA GeForce Experience, you can just hold Alt F12, and it'll turn it off. But I just leave it up so I can look at it and see. Okay, so I've spawned a bunch of people. How much is that going to affect my frame rate? Am I going to be able to make a video where I have a playable frame rate? Because I made a video once that let me have like 5 frames per second, and it just wasn't it wasn't a good video. It turned out bad, so it'll just go up in my pile of my compilation of outtakes for these videos or something that I'm gonna do. Now that we know we have our Raiders, we know what they're, we know what to type in now. So we type in bat. We want to set some Raiders right here, okay? Bat, and we're going to do type in Raider 1, you know. So we hit that, and so if you look right there, it says player place at me, you know. So now we come out of this screen right here, and we look, boom, all of a sudden we're surrounded by a bunch of raiders. Now these raiders, of course, would be attacking me, but they're all legendary raiders, you know. And sometimes you can't get out from between these guys. Sometimes they won't move out of your way. Sometimes you have to shoot them. I don't know if you remember that jump bat file that I have, but this is very useful. So I set my jump to you know, a little bit higher than what it normally is, about 5 times higher than it normally is. Now I can come out here and I can just jump over these fools, and they're not in my way anymore. So now I've got a bunch of raiders here. Now I've got 20. They're all badass. They all want to kick my ass, except for the AI's off right now. So they're not gonna mess with me. Even if I started shooting them, like I take this guy. Let's get off this. I can shoot him right in the head, you know, and he's not gonna care two licks about me. Now it is gonna show him as an enemy though. Like this guy, if I try to talk to him, he'll become my enemy. Boom. Music will start. You may want to turn the music off. You know, it's up to you. I don't really care because I don't use the in-game music. I use my own music. But you will be able to kill these guys. You know, like for instance, this guy. You know, boom, he's a dead raider. You know, loot his body, whatever. You know, doesn't matter. I don't really care. Yeah. So, yeah, I can do whatever I need to do on this. All right, so I've got my raiders. You know, obviously I can kill them. Obviously they can die. I'm not really too worried about that right now. You know, the music will just be an annoyance if you let it run. It's not really that big a deal. So, next part of the video, I'm going to show you how to set up the battle and then run it. So, we'll get that in just 1 second. Alright, so one thing you want to use is you want to be careful about save files that you use. I have files that I have picked out for my battles. So if you look over here, these are some of the files and some of the battles that I had. So I want to save. I really want to save right now at this point before the battle starts, before I do anything. Save it right now so that way. You know, if something screws up or the game crashes, because you know you could have the game crash by doing some of this stuff to it. Doesn't happen a lot. It's pretty stable. I haven't had any issues with it, but it will crash if you push it too much. You know, I just figure out which. Okay, let's see. I just want to use this one here from my battle in the glowing sea. You know, I'm gonna save right now. Okay. So now we need an enemy for this person to fight. Okay, and you know, you have your choice between lots of different enemies. I'm just gonna. I believe this is a bunch of Brotherhood of Steel paladins. So I'm just gonna use that batch file right there. And I'm gonna type in. BAT current 1, you know, so, and voila, that's going to give me 5 of those paladins right now. Boom. And so come out of here, boom, we got the legendary paladins. Okay, so we got 5 legendary paladins and 20 minus 1 legendary raiders. Okay, so now really what I want to do is I want to go over here and I want to see, okay, so we got legendary raiders. So I got his name on. I can see that it's a legendary raider. I'm just going to hit print screen real quick. And then this guy, you know, I'm going to come over here. I've made an enemy of the Brotherhood of Steel, so if I try and talk to him, he'll be my enemy. Because he's... okay, there we go. So come over here. I'm gonna hit print screen of this because yeah. So I print my screen there. Now I'm gonna want to turn off my heads-up display because that'll just take away from the cinematography of the whole the whole battle. So, anyways, back out. Now you can't see anything but the screen. So it's pretty cool. What I do is I usually come over here and I snap a 10-second video of these guys just standing here. Usually I'll crouch down a little bit so we're kind of looking up at them so they look a little more menacing. Get it framed right. Boom. Take my 5 minutes of video of that right there. So now I got them, just looking around, doing their standard animations for standing there. Okay, now I've got my video for them. Now I want to come over here and get my video. I try to find some menacing looking guys crouching down, so they're standing there, looking pretty mean. Of course, not necessarily next to the paladins, but whatever. And you got to remember that there are characters in the game that are way more overpowered than other ones. So you want to pit. That's why I'm pitting 20 raiders against 5 paladins. It's probably still unfair for the raiders. I should probably do 50 of these guys, but I'm just doing this to show you the video. So now that I've gotten my video of them, now what I want to do is I just want to come out here and I'm going to save again. I like to save different points, so if I need to back up to go back a little bit, I can. And now see here at Vault 111, there's a few places to hide. My favorite is just to run down over here. And you want to hide, otherwise they'll start. If they see you, if they're your enemy, they'll start attacking. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna come over here and hide, and then now I want to bring up my console, and I want to type in a pretty cool little thing. It's called TFC. Okay, TFC, that toggles the free flying camera. Okay, and for any of those that have used the console before, they did this in Skyrim, Fallout 3 and stuff. So now when I come out of here, I can go right through the wall. I can go through the ground. I can go through anything I want. It's not going to matter. There's no clip. There's no. This just puts me right through here. So now I can get some pretty good little screenshots here. I can come up here and boom, I'm going to hit print screen. So now I've got a couple of things and I'm going to hit print screen again right here. Get a good little view right here. Get it centered. Hit print screen again. Then we come over here. Get a little shot of this right here. This actually looks pretty good right here. Those paladins, they look pretty tough in the background. So print screen again there. Now I've got some screenshots that I can make some thumbnails out of later. I've got video for intros and stuff like that. Now really what I want to do is I want to come up here and I want to get ready for the fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quick save it. Look at my quick save right here. This is the last point that I want to save at. So now I'm going to pull up my console command. But what I want to do, I really want to turn off my frames thing. Because I don't know, I don't really want that in my video. They don't even know how many frames per second I've got. They just want to enjoy the video, not worry about, well, what's the little numbers there on the side, because not everyone knows what frames per second is. So I just turn it off. And it's off. So now I can go back into my console, and now I want to do a few things in here. One, I want to start my video recording right now. Because I'm going to edit it later. I'm going to do some cutting and splitting and stuff like that. Whatever video editing software you use. I use that's a good question. It's VSDC? VSDC free video editor. It's a really good video editor. It's free. It's open source, and it's pretty powerful. It can do a lot of stuff. So that's what I use. If you don't have one, I would suggest looking it up and downloading it. I'll leave a link in the description below on that software. So, all right. So now we're going to get ready for our fight. All right, so now we're getting ready for our fight, and this is where the fun part goes. But we want to know, is our stuff going to pay off? Is this going to happen the way we want it to? You know, oftentimes we don't know what's going to happen. I like to film it just because it might be a really epic battle, and well, you don't want to lose that. But usually my first run is a test, you know, and I've learned a lot over the past week of making these videos. I've learned so much because I've made, you know, I'm probably close to 20 videos. I've uploaded about 12 right now, but I got more on the way and stuff. But this is the part that's fun. But you don't know exactly what's going to happen between these guys until you run at least one simulation. So I like to run the first one as a simulation, but I record it so that I have it, you know. And so with the real quickly though, with the free flying cameras, that it's really easy to control. I use an Xbox 360 controller, but that's just what I'm used to. But you can use the keyboard to control it and stuff. So you got the so back and forth and forward and backward is done by the left stick, and then camera looking left to right and up and down is with the right stick. And so also with the right trigger you can go up or down, right and left bumper as well. So there's, you know, that's pretty cool little thing. So if I want to just start right here, then all of a sudden I want to pan up, I can go like this and look up, and all of a sudden I'm over top of them, you know. Then I can zoom right down in on this guy, and I can see that he's, you know, he would look menacing if this dude wasn't standing right here. And I want to see what's in this guy's head. So I can look inside his head. Oh yeah, there's nothing there. That's awesome. Okay, great. So yeah, so we're getting ready for that. You know, the camera will take some getting used to, the camera angles and stuff. But it's very controllable. There's also a way to slow the camera down. I will leave a link to, or I'll leave a description of that in the description below too. So here, we're getting ready for our battle. So I got it set up. I want to get my camera angle right before I start this. You know, so here's my camera angle that I want for right now for this one. Okay. I've already saved, ready to go. Bring up my console. This is where I start my video recording. Boom, my video's recording. All right. So now I want to do the battle. So really, all I got to do is, remember how I disabled the AI earlier? Well, I want to enable the AI, and this is it. Just type in battle. Boom. All right. So you want this to come up. You want to see all AI processing is on, and you want to see all combat AI processing is on. And that's it. Now we're ready to go. Now all we want to do is just turn off the console and let the fight begin. And so once I turn this console off, the fight is going to begin. These guys are going to start killing each other. So let's watch.
Secure the area.
And as you can see, the extremely overpowered Brotherhood of Steel is, you know, seriously kicking some major ass on these really wussy ass raiders. They're not going to last very long. You know, this guy over here, he's running away. You know, so, you know, choose your camera angles however you want them. You know, I'm not super cinematic or very artistic, but, you know, I like to get as good a camera angles as I think's okay. My deal is capturing the video, you know what I mean, and showcasing the actual fight. I'm not too worried about cinematography, just because I don't really know. Boom! Now the fight's over. We got 5 paladins standing. See this guy. He missing part of a leg armor piece. This guy's missing a few things, but overall, these guys are in great health. So I told you that 5 paladins are going to kick the crap out of all those raiders. So there really wasn't even a big difference. So now I turn off my camera or my recording software. And then I bring this up and I just hit the up arrow. We got battle. Boom! That turns the AI processing off. Now the reason why that's important is because when you go to start your next round, if you're going to do another round, or if you're going to start your next video, your AI processing is off. Now, if you restart the game, you have to put in all these commands again. Okay, so you want to do that. Make sure that you have your commands in here. So now it's off. They're just going to stand there. They're not going to do anything. Boom. I don't have to worry about them. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back over here to load. Remember my quick save that I did earlier? Go back to it, and I'm going to do round 2. So here's round 2. But this was a way overpowered video. These guys are way overpowered. So I'm going to throw something in the mix. I'm going to add some more raiders to this, But unfortunately, I have to do that. I have to be out there. So I'm going to turn off the free fly camera, and then that's going to instantly transport me back to where I hid. So now, in order to be able to do this stuff, I've got to run back up here, and my actual physical self needs to be up there because when you place something at yourself, you have to actually be there. So if I had to try and place them here with just the camera, it would spawn back at me. So you want to make sure you bring you up here, your actual physical self. So since this was way overpowered, I want to add a lot more raiders. I want to add at least 40 more raiders. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some raiders right there. And I'm going to put some raiders right here. So now, I've got, they're not as overpowered. They can destroy 20 of them, but, they might have they're probably going to have a tougher time. I really still think that the Brotherhood Paladins are going to win, but it's not going to be such a just such a one-sided fight, Now, there's a whole lot more raiders that they have to deal with. There's going to be 3 times the amount of firepower coming in on them, So now they have to worry about stuff. So now that I got this, I want to do a save. I'm super obsessive compulsive about saves. So that's why I save a lot, I just use a couple of files here to save at. So I'm just going to go and overwrite this one, Then it's time to hide again. If you want, you can set your speed to whatever you want it to. You can set it to really high so you can run over here real quick, run back. Doesn't really matter. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get low. I'm going to hide, so that way they can't see me. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to toggle the free fly camera again. So now I'm going to come back up here, zoom, 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 and I'm gonna maybe take another screenshot. We got this right here. That looks pretty cool. Boom, print screen. You know what I mean? If you're into cinematography, you could probably make some wicked ass shots. Also, just so you know, you can place in each individual one of these raiders in here. You know what I mean? I like to place 20 at a time because I don't really care where they're placed. But you can sit here and line them up one by one and get them all lined up perfect. You know what I mean? So like you have a firing line or something, But so we got this right here. I'm going to go up just a little bit, pan it down, and then I'm going to take that screenshot. So we got some pretty awesome screenshots. Now, if I come back over here and I can look at my screenshots that I've just taken, if I bring this up, boom, look at that. I got some pretty good screenshots here. Not only that, but I got some pretty cool video. Oh, there's a Death Skull Rad Scorpion one from one of my screenshots. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That looks kind of intimidating to have these full 5 guys here and all those raiders there. There's 60 raiders there. Right, this one with the 20 raiders here and the 5 guys right there, these guys, they're standing there tough, but, if I was one of these guys, I'd be crapping my pants and wishing I had an EMP device, So, anyways, all right, so back to the game. All right, so now we've got our setup. We've got our second round ready to go, and I think it's ready to start this fight. So remember, we're getting ready for a fight. So we bring the console up, and then we turn off the AI. We start our camera, and turn our combat processing and our processing on. and our camera's ready to go. We're ready to go. So once I bring this console down, they're going to start fighting. So here we go. So as the fight's going, I'm trying to get some good camera angles, see what's going on. You know, if there's other stuff going on. Now see, there's a lot more power here now that there's... Oh, look, we got one paladin down already. You know, we got a bunch of raiders down, but that's not surprising. But we got one paladin down, 2 paladins down, 3 paladins down. Boom, paladins are down. Now you can see that the raiders were a lot more powerful this time because there was twice as many. Ooh, look at that. That was a nice little extra. Those are cool. I think those are cool for the background effects. So now we can zoom in here, get a little bit of cinematography, and I can zoom in on this guy. Boom. And I can stop my recording. Okay, now I can, remember we want to turn our combat processing off, otherwise, well, you know, crap's going to happen. So now we got a little bit more overpowered raiders than we do our paladins. So the paladins got their ass kicked. I want to make this more of a fair fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do here. I'm going to go, or actually, I'm just going to load this one. I got to load this file anyway, so I'm actually going to go back a little bit to where I didn't have as many, raiders, to where I only had 20 raiders. And I'm going to I'm just going to add, this time I'm going to change things up a little bit. So if we got 5 of those, 60's too powerful. I think 40's going to probably make it pretty close to a fair fight, you know? Maybe 35. So what I want to do is I want to go and modify my batch file for the raiders. You know, I think that if I had 15 more raiders, I think that will probably be pretty good. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this number to 15 because I already got 20 there. I don't need 35 more. I only want 15 more. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to see where it goes. You know, see how that does. I wanted to put 20, but you know, I think 10's too little and I think 20's too much. I really think that this is going to be a good number for me. So, anyways, I've got to come out of TFC real quick, or the free fly camera, and I've got to run back over there. Alrighty. So now I'm just going to stand right here. Right here, and I'm going to add these raiders, and they'll just fill in between everything. So, bat raider 1. Alright, boom, we got 15 more raiders. So we got quite a few raiders, you know. We got a lot of raiders, you know. Technically there's 34 because of this poor bastard, but, yeah, whatever. And, you know, there it is there. So, I'm going to run back over and we'll get started on this battle. Alrighty. So, turn the flying camera on. Yep. And run back over here. Get in our position ready to go. I think we're going to do something like this for this one. Okay. Bring up my console. Start your video. And turn the battle on. And let's do this.
Take them all out.
As you can see, still I was wrong. Still overpowered. Still overpowered. Now these guys are getting roughed up, but every single one of them is still alive. That's a nice little added cinematography right there, huh? That's it. So now these guys, their power armor got banged up bad. Every single one of them, you know. but they're still all alive and they still killed all the raiders. So, as you do it, you can adjust your everything accordingly. Adjust it all accordingly. Get it to the settings you want, the amount of people that you want, and there's also other console commands that you can change other things in the game. And I'm not going to get into all that. I'll leave links to the console commands. If you have any questions about that, you can. So now you've got your raw video, you've got your screenshots, you got everything ready. So now you can just go in and edit the videos. And that's pretty much it on how to actually create the raw footage of these videos. I'm not going to get into editing videos because that's outside my realm of expertise as far as teaching that kind of stuff. This is something that I just wanted to show you how to get the videos done. I'm going to leave the editing up to you on how you edit it. Like I said, go ahead and check out all the links below in the description. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.